ready? It's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now, not gonna fake it. Now when you go down, 'cause this is my game, and you better come to play. I used to hold my freak back, now I'm letting go. I make my own choice, bitch, I run the show. So leave the lights on, no you can't make me behave. So you say I'm complicated, that I must be ever mine. But you've had me underrated, rated. What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with being confident?
Are you looking for a job? Stay tuned and find out how you can self-employ yourself and study at the same time at your comfort zone. I'm your host, Nabila. Ajira Digital is a platform for youth employment program under the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs that intend to make Kenya a freelance hub by 2025. Ajira Digital is part of the Kenya Mission and Vision of 2030 initiative. The founder of Ajira is none other than Faith Wamboi from Kenya YMCA Training Institute in Nairobi. How to apply for Ajira Digital? Visit Ajira Digital website, register, complete your profile, book a training session. After the training session, you receive a certificate certifying that you have completed your training session, and therefore you now can be able to apply an online job in Ajira Digital platform at your comfort zone. She stands strong and firm to building a better future for Albinism community. And she quotes, "The best time is now." All the way from Zimbabwe, this is Brenda and her story.
Hello everyone, my name is Brenda Mudzimu. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm the founder of the Albinism Day to Dream initiative, formerly Miss Albinism Zimbabwe Trust. I'm also the project coordinator of African Union for Persons with Albinism, as well as a registered nurse by profession. Living in a world where we are different from other people, it's a very big challenge, especially to us as persons with albinism. We face stigma and discrimination due to myths and misconceptions against people living with albinism. Talking about other countries, African countries, people with albinism are even losing their lives due to ritual purposes, as people believe that as persons with albinism, we cure HIV and AIDS, we bring luck, we bring wealthy, so when it's towards elections, again in some other parts of the African continent, people with albinism loses their lives because they believe that if you use the body parts of persons with albinism, you're going to win election. So this is very difficult for persons with albinism, to make it in the community, in the society that we live in. Also, sometimes, when you're the only person with albinism in a family, at home, even at school, people, they tend to try and understand what exactly happened to the family, and some they even believe that albinism is a result of witchcraft, which is weird. So it's so hard to us as persons with albinism to cope with the situations in the society. So I can say I'm the brain behind the Albinism Day to Dream initiative, to make sure that we use it as a tool to raise awareness, on the circumstances of the albinism community, and also to claim our rightful place in the society, also to make sure that we promote, protect and respect rights of persons with albinism. So we hold a lot of events such as Mr. and Miss Albinism Zimbabwe, Southern Africa, as well as Africa. So we are trying to educate the society that albinism is just a genetic condition which is the result of lack of melanin. So that is what we are trying to do as persons with albinism in our society. So according to the current situation, economic situation in Africa, I'm deeply concerned about the situation as we as we are trying to survive. Talking about the albinism, it's hard for us to be employed. So sometimes you find that poverty is wreaking havoc across the African continent, especially to already vulnerable community. So we are deeply concerned about this kind of situation. I'm really motivated by Oprah Winfrey, who always say the best of times is now. So I can say to all people with albinism, act and vary your strategy accordingly, regardless of the challenges that you are facing right now. I can say knock on the doors which other people fear to approach, and at whatever cost. You were born for success and unimaginable greatness, regardless of how the society see you. Don't be defined by the society, but you have to be defined by your character. You have to be defined by your action. So I can say be strong, and hold on. For the well-detailed information, please get in touch with us on our social media handles, which is Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We use the same username, which is Albinism Day to Dream Initiative. We are also on website. You can click on albinismdaytodream.org. Our email address is albinismdaytodreaminitiative@gmail.com or missalbinismzimtrust@gmail.com. Also, you can use admin@albinismdaytodream.org. Thank you.
With how this generation is, you need to learn how to multitask. Well, this and more advice all the way from Cameroon from our family counselor next.
Greetings to you all beautiful people of Africa. I am relating to you from Cameroon. I am a psychologist, a certified marriage and family counselor from Simpa USA, and I am an entrepreneur and also the CEO of Abbott's Healthy Family Forum and the Next Shopping Center. At this point, I would like to share with you my ambitions on how I grew up to become a marriage and family counselor. Now, it all started when I was growing up, from my childhood right up to when I grew up to become a woman. The family where I am coming from, the environment where I grew up from, and the encounters that I have been into, the friends that I have met in my journey as a child, right up to today where I am right now. I want to say that growing into this family, observing the family where I came from, observing the environment where I came from, and others, friends, and the community where I was coming from, I realized that the major challenge that we are having today in the world is at the level of the family. That is, once we are failed from building healthy families, we are also failed in building our communities. Because the children that grow up to become leaders of tomorrow are all brought up from a family. We are all brought up by a family. So we don't take our time to be able to mold our families, in such a way that we bring up good moral children, and then at the end of the day we go to university. Now, how am I looking at family? How do I say that family is healthy? My definition of a healthy family says that for a family to be healthy, we have to look at the emotional aspects of the family, we have to look at the psychological aspects of the family, we have to look at the economic aspects of the family, we have to look at the physical, and of course we have to look at the spiritual. And until we put all this on the table, we wouldn't be able to actually tell if a family is healthy or not. And of course, if we fail at the level of a family, definitely we are going to fail at the level of the continent. That's the reason why I grew up with a desire and the ambition to be able to come up with what is now called Albin's Healthy Family Forum, where we train people on how to become, on how to build healthy families, families that can record all of others, families that others can look up to, families that can bring up children that we can look tomorrow and say, oh, our generation, our future is bright. How then do I go about this? The strategy that I'm using in my thing is that we organize workshops where we train women, we train married women, and we train youth on how to become efficient in it economically. We train them to become psychologically, emotionally, physically, and of course spiritually strong to be able to take care of their own families. We organize seminars where we teach people, we train people on how to actually build a healthy family and how to sustain a healthy family. Also, we pay visits to orphanages where we also make the children, the orphans, to feel at home. But they are also part of us, so we have to make it inclusive. Now, what's the major challenge that we are facing in our community or in our country? As of now, I'll say that the challenge that we are facing in Cameroon is the major challenge, let me put it that way, is the unemployment crisis. And that has led to what we call inflation. Prices keep on rising. And at this point, it becomes very difficult for people to even be able to feed. It goes down, the weight boils down on the women. Why? Because they are the managers. In most situations, women are the managers of the home. So because prices of things are increasing, women are finding it so difficult to be able to care carefully and to be able to even cook food for the children in the house. My advice to the women and to everybody in the family, to all adults in the family, be it a male or a female, is that we should all try to engage into income generating activities. If we do that, and then in the long run, no matter how challenging life might become, we're going to be able to balance somehow. But then we also call on the stakeholders to try and look for a way to put an end to this crisis. How then do I balance my work and my family life? I, as a woman, when it comes to my work and my family life, these are the three things I struggle to put in place. I make sure that I do what we call planning. After planning, I focus on time management. And the last is multitasking. Once you are able to plan your activities, once you are able to plan your day, once you are able to manage your time, and you do a little of multitasking, I bet you wouldn't have more of a problem. You wouldn't have any challenge. You're going to do it and even do more than you were thinking. So I think that all along, with my struggle of wanting to be able to build healthy families, with my struggle of wanting to be able to help my own family. My strategy has always been on planning, time management, and of course, multitasking. I'm emphasizing on multitasking because that's the secret that many of us are lacking. So we should try, African women, we should try to multitask. We should multitask. We shouldn't just sit and say, oh, my father is bringing in people to come and support the family. Or we should also try to do something that can support, that can bring food to the table. A single parent can never be minimized. So if you have just a single parent to contribute, you are doing just everything. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to come and represent my country, Cameroon. Thank you very much, the CEO of Eagle Show.
With all her busy schedule in hand, she has made time and effort to talk to us up and close. She is one and only award winner for 2023 Coalition of Women in Africa, Peace and Development. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Nabila, for your time and hosting me in this in the conversation. I'm Justina Wawasi Mwangombe, a Senior Superintendent of Prisons and the Officer in Charge of Ndani Women Prison. As I join this call, I will be talking on my own behalf, not on behalf of the Kenya Prison Service. Let me say this in relation to the award that I just received from the Africa Women Summit 4th edition in Cape Town, South Africa, where I was awarded as the Africa Women Empowerment Champion of 2023. Okay, in my career, I have 18 years and above, around 5 months, 18 years, 5 months old in this career of a prison officer. I have been an officer in charge to 3 adult women prisons, including Machakos Women Prison, Busia Women Prison, and currently I'm in charge of Ndani Women Prison. I've been the superintendent in charge of the Kamai Girls Bosoli Institution, which is a juvenile girls institution, the only one under Kenya Prison Service. And I have also some international experience in matters correction, because since 2018 to date, I have been representing the detention practitioners as a detention practitioner and in juvenile detention matters in a counter-terrorism contest with the International Institute for Justice and the Rule of Law based in Malta, Europe. I have been a trainer with the International Peace Support Training Center based in Kenya, Karen, as a subject matter expert in child protection matters in a post-conflict environment since 2017 to date. I have also had a chance to work under contract with the Royal Wallenberg Institute for Human Rights and Humanitarian Law, both training senior officers in Kenya and outside Kenya. The latest one being Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe last year, Harare, where I trained correction and prisons officers on matters of Bangkok rules, Mandela rules, and Tokyo rules, and the prisons human rights audit tools. And I had a very good experience with them, training them and also coaching them and mentoring them in application of human rights in prisons. I have also had an opportunity to train under the International Institute for Justice and the Rule of Law also last year, 2022, in Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, where I trained the criminal justice actors on juvenile matters, detention of juveniles in a counter-terrorism contest. So I've had both internal and Kenya and beyond experience in matters correction and advisory. And in the year 2015 to 2017, that is 2 years, I represented Kenya as a peacekeeper with the MONUSCO, the Democratic Republic of Congo Field Mission, UN Field Mission, where I was there to train, to advise and mentor on matters of correction of prisons establishment after the civil war, the conflict. So with that, I have done a lot, especially general in matters prison, but mostly in matters women and children. So for the award that I was fitted with that is in 12th May during the summit in South Africa, they recognized my work. Not Kenya Prison Service is a government institution fully. I'm also a public servant, so this is not about a foundation that I started, neither I ran as a person, but the award is about the areas that have gone out of what is provided to me by the government in supporting women. And it's about a model that I actually drafted in which follows the rule of law, of course. I studied a lot of what is provided to me as a prison officer in terms of laws. So the Kenyan law, that is domestically the constitution. I studied the international law, including Mandela rules, Bangkok rules, Tokyo rules, and also the Convention on the Rights of the Child and the African charters of the same. So with also the Thailand Institute of Justice report. It was a research report. They did a survey on the pathways to criminality of women in Kenya and also their pathways to imprisonment. So I combined that together with the risk need responsivity analysis, which is internationally accepted way of assessing inmates. So I came up with a model which I tested both in Russia and also in where I am in Bulgaria, where women are processed from the time they enter into the prison through the gate to the time they go back to the society. So there are those programs that are supported by the government of Kenya, thanks to our government, and there are those that are done outside the community, and those ones basically need a lot of collaboration with the community because they are fully funded by the community. It's a matter of just bringing in the community, telling them that the people behind bars are supplied from the community. There is a place that the community has in terms of increase or decrease in criminality. So then getting them and bringing them in to help. So the programs that we do here, especially those that relate to release or integration, are fully supported by the community, philanthropists, community-based organizations, international NGOs, and the county government of Taita. So that is what flagged my work to the point that I received this prestigious award. Thank you. So for the children, as I mentioned earlier, the children who are allowed to accompany their mothers to prison, we have a Kenya Prison Child Care Policy, which allows us to collaborate so that we give the children the best while they're in prison 4 years and below, because at this age, they need some level of education. So I want to appreciate that the county government of Taita Taveta is doing a lot with us here in Mundani, and that is what I also submitted for the award. So they have provided us with teachers, 2 teachers, qualified teachers, who are supporting the one teacher who was posted to us through the Kenya Prison Service, our staff, and we are having a full-fledged ECD and daycare center where our children, that is inmates children, staff children, and the community around are bringing in their children for proper training by professional teachers. So we allow that so that our children also may have an easy time in reintegrating once they leave the prison. We want to give them what the community is providing for children, education that is commensurate to what is provided to other children, so that as they live here, if they are in PP1 class under CPC, they join other children outside there without having some shocks in terms of where they were and the rest, because the law doesn't allow us to stigmatize children by virtue of where they are, especially when they are in prison. So we support our children that way together with the community, and that one I appreciate the county government of Taita Taveta, especially the education, the Department of Education. Okay, for the youth, I have been a youth mentor. in all the institutions that I have been. For now, I'm mentoring a team called the Taita Taveta Youth Alliance plus others through their programs. And I want to say that the youths are people who can build Kenya. They can be of importance to us, and we can use the energy that we have and channel it to the development of the country than in crime. So many of the people behind bars are youths, and that's an alarm. And that's why, as a person, apart from working inside the prison, during my free time, I join the youths and walk around with the other community educators to even talk to parents during barazas and DCC meetings to tell them that we need to take care of our children and our youths, so that we commit them positively. If they are school going, support them so that the children are committed in a positive way than joining gangs and doing a lot of activities like drug and substance abuse, which are push factors, the main push factors to criminality amongst our youth. So I want to appreciate, and as I close, I want to say that I'm not only the African Champion for Women and Empowerment Award, I am also I have other awards, as you can see here. This is the UN award for the 2 years that I've worked as a peacekeeper. This is the UN Service for Peace medal. And then there is the latest one I received. This is the African Women Empowerment Champion Award. Then here, this is the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, where they also awarded me last year as the Peace Champion 2022 for the work I've done with the youths. As I've said, I go around with the youths talking about prevention of crime among the youths and skills empowerment and the rest as their patron. Then this is the Trailblazer Award, which I received from the Public Service of Kenya also in the year 2022 for the work I've done in prison reforms in my career, both in Kenya and beyond. Then this is the award for the, as you can see, it is Women Empowerment Champion. This is a county award for last year, and also the Human Rights Defender Award of 2022. So I want to appreciate in a very special way that at times the little things we do, the hummingbird efforts that we do in our positions as government officers and public officers will never go unnoticed. At least I am that testimony that when we do what we do in the right way, we impact on humanity, and it will be a way to empower other people and mentor them towards working for the public service, working as a uniformed person, and impacting on the community. Thank you.
Yes, Africa. By now, you do agree with me that we do have ambitious and talented women out there. So yes, this brings us to the end of our episode for today. So please follow us on our social handle, Facebook, eTalkShow, Instagram, e_talk_show, and Reddit, eTalkShow. Our phone number is running on the screen. Please do contact us with your story, because here at eTalkShow, we would love to share your story your way. eTalkShow, where your story empower change.
What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with being confident?